Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon everyone. How are you guys today? I hope we are always fine. Okay, so I will storytelling about Kind King. Before that, I will introduce myself. Hello, my name is Rizka and I study at Tri Soreang Junior High School. Okay, please enjoy it. Book title is Cerita Rakyat 33 Provinsi or Kind King. The writer is Tira Ikranegara. The publisher is Lingkar Media. Book type is fiksi. Book tick 128 or 4 page. Kind King. Once upon a time, there were a widow and a little boy. They both lived in an old sheikh which was very clean and close to the palace. The old hut was considered an antique and need to be preserved. Once a month, the palace sent grocers to contribute to the survival of the widow of her child. The kingdom was led by a king who was kind, wise and wise. The king was very kind and very close to his people. Commoners or nobility, the king was very loved by his people because he had a kind heart. One day, the widow's son was playing in the palace yard with his friends. Because he was poor, he had a pet, namely a musket, which was tied with a string wherever he went. He took the musket with him all the time. Because it was too cool for the poor widow's child to realize that the days was getting dark for fear of being scolded by her mother, he immediately went home and entrusted the mosquito to the king, and the king agreed to it and keep it on the pillar in front of the palace. When he returned the next day, his favorite mosquito was gone. He immediately met the king and complained, "Your Majesty, my mosquito is gone. It seems like it is eaten by your Majesty's roaster," said the widow's son. And the king said, "Then you just take the roaster in exchange for the mosquito." Then the widow's son always took the roaster wherever he went. While playing, the roaster got loose and went to where the mothers were pounding the rice. When the chicken pecked the grains of rice in the mortar hole because of anyone's, a mother hit the mortar at the chicken until floundered to the ground and died. A widow's son went to meet the king again and said that his chicken had been beaten to death by a mortar instead. The king gave the mortar to the widow's son. Because it was late afternoon, he inserted the mortar to the king, and the mortar was kept under the palace tree at the behest of the king. The next day, when the boy wanted to take the mortar, he saw that the mortar had been crushed by a jackfruit. He complained and said, "Your Majesty, the mortar prevent the jackfruit from being crushed," he said. Smiling, the king said, "Then you take the jackfruit as a soup tithe for your broken mortar." Because he could not bring the jackfruit home, he answered it to the king in the palace and kept it in the kitchen. When he came home, there was a princess who smelled the fragrance of the jackfruit. The king's daughter looked for it, and she thought that the jackfruit was prepared by her maid. King's Castle told her maid to open the jackfruit, and she ate in it until it was done. The next day, when the widow's son returned, he saw that the jackfruit had run out, and who did not know who had eaten it. He went to the king and expressed his disappointment. The king said, "Never mind, don't be sad, because my daughter ate the jackfruit, so I will give my daughter to you." The child did not understand the king's words because he was too small. However, when the boy grew up and became a handsome young man, the princess king had become a beautiful girl. The king married the two of them. They lived happily in the palace. The mother was also brought to the palace. The end. So, thank you for listening. Sorry if there is a wrong say. Thank you. Salam literasi. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.